What's good, everyone? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to go somewhere a bit more specific, a bit more personal to some of you guys, because I know my target audience and most of you guys who are watching might be in your between 18 to 24, kind of like I am, have a similar past that I do, and have similar ambitions to I do. So you're going to be facing some of the challenges along the way that I have. One of them being, and one of the biggest problems being, what to do if your family doesn't believe in you. I mean, doing, whether that's with appointment setting, whether that's with high ticket sales, whether that's just getting your feet off the ground in terms of making Wi-Fi money. Because as you know, you got to keep in context that your family grew up in a different generation, so all of this internet Wi-Fi money, it seems like BS to them. Yeah, so you need to put that into context and just, be very mindful of that, because we will get to their age, and then the next generation will find another way to become financially free, or find this new business or new opportunity, and we're going to be skeptical of it at first. So they didn't grow up with what we're doing, so this is going to be normal. Okay, but I'm going to show you some practical ways, and stuff that's actually helped me to overcome this obstacle, because I know it hinders a lot of you guys, and it sucks, I know, but it's going to pass. So I want to help you guys along the way. Before we get into this video, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, especially if you're new to the channel, and let's get into it. So let's unblur this. Let's go one by one, or two by two. Let's start with this. So I've had my fair share of criticism over the years, not just from family, but also peers, teachers, acquaintances, the internet, everyone you can possibly think of, whichever bracket you want to put them under. Like, it's normal. This is how the journey is. Unless you want to just play it small, then you always get criticism, you always get hate. Just how it is, alright? If you don't like that, then don't even play the game. Now, I'll give you some examples. Parents telling me, so if you guys don't know, and if you guys are new to me, my name's Matt, and pretty much my long story short was tried many different businesses, grew up in the UK, and then I found appointment setting. But before I found appointment setting, I used to go to uni in the UK, dropped out after 1 year, realized it wasn't for me, and then basically my parents were not supportive with what I was doing with appointment setting, or my online business for that matter. So the parents were telling me constantly to work a part-time job for 9 months straight after dropping out of my first year of uni with no results to show for. So in some way, like, this is fair, because imagine, put this into perspective. Let's say your son, you wanted them to go to university. This was something that you really wanted them to do, only for him to drop out after the first year of the remaining 4 or the remaining 3, but he has nothing to show for it. Like, he's just kind of done that blindly, right? So I do kind of feel where they're coming from in a way, but this is what basically happened after that. So I was forced to move back home with my parents. I didn't want to do an apprenticeship. I wanted to really just stick to this. I really wanted to see this through, this remote income, this online business thing at the time, all right? And I didn't want to work a part-time job, because I really wanted to focus and place all my time, attention, and energy into figuring this out and getting something off the ground. That way results would come sooner. But they didn't say it that way initially. They just kept and when I say constantly, every day to every other day, we would get into sometimes we would get into arguments, but we would always just be butting heads. There'd always be remarks, just stuff that would really just stress you out and just annoy you about me. And it annoyed me for sure. Like, they kept asking, oh, have you applied to any jobs? Have you, how about I found this job? Make sure you get a job. If you don't get a job by this, they're putting the pressure on me. Like, if you don't get a job by this date, then we're gonna do X, Y, Z. They were limiting me from certain. They were limiting me on certain things. They were telling me to not spend my money too much. They were telling me all these different things that was holding me back at the time, and I love them to death. I need to make that straight. Like, I love them, talk to them all the time. We have a great relationship now, but back then it wasn't so great, and it was like this for 9 months. Okay. Number 2, way before I got into appointment setting, if you guys don't know as well, I tried to run many different businesses, all in the online space, or most of them in the online space, for a while, for several years. and one of them being an Instagram theme page business. So if you don't know, it's kind of like what Iman Gadzhi used to do. It's basically what Iman Gadzhi used to do. he'd start a theme page where you don't have to show your face, and then you just basically build an audience, get it to a ton of followers, you repost other people's content, you give credit, and then you can use that audience. People will pay you sponsorships for it, will pay you to run ads on your page. People will want to sell their own products. People want mentorship. There's so many ways you can go once you have a big audience and you're somewhat famous and viral on Instagram. And this is what I did back in year 10, so grade 9. But in the beginning, obviously you start from zero, right? And zero as well in terms of how much money it made. And I got mocked for it by my peers. I didn't tell them at first because I knew this was going to happen, but as it started growing, as it started getting to like 5,000 followers, 6,000 followers, word started to spread around. People started finding out it was me, and then they started taking the piss out of me, which obviously wasn't great. It wasn't great for especially being a low self-esteem, low confidence, like typical Asian nerd at the time. I know it wasn't fun. So that was that. And then number 3 was I was mocked when I first started this YouTube channel, / my personal brand, and documenting the journey 3 years ago. So I made the decision in December 2020, I believe, December 2020, to film my first YouTube video and grow a channel for my business, basically, to help with my business growth. And really I also did it to help with my confidence and my speaking skills, right? People tell me all the time, Matt, you speak really well. Like, how do you do that? How do you do that? Why is your voice so deep? Why is your voice so deep? I actually get that, right? And I tell them, like, it was just repetition. I filmed 200 plus videos here, plus some more that is not on YouTube, plus some outtakes as well. And it's just practice. And I didn't start off that way. You need to go to my first video if you want proof, because that was not, it's night and day, okay? So I got mocked for doing that, obviously. Like, even family members would pull up my YouTube videos and watch them and laugh at them sometimes. It bothered me a lot back then. It shattered my ego. It didn't feel good at all. I don't really care. And I'll give you some examples. I'll give you some more examples. Specifically, what happened right after, because I persevered. Because I persevered, despite this happening, right after, this is what happened. I started making good remote income at a young age through appointment setting. It started taking off. I was on a good offer. I was making good commission. I was making like thousands of dollars from my fucking bedroom that I was sharing with my little brother at the time. So expenses were near to zero. This is finally the moment I was waiting for. And eventually, a few more months of that, I was able to move out, and I started traveling the world in my 20s, starting with Thailand. Number 2, right after this happened, and I stuck to it, things started picking up. I started making money from the Instagram page, where I don't even have to show my face. I just repost other people's content. Got it to 30K followers, plus millions of impressions. I still actually have the account to this day. So if you guys want a challenge, I suggest you try find it. I probably mentioned it before, but you guys, if you want a challenge, try find it. Now all of a sudden, they went from mocking me. No kidding, guys. Now all of a sudden, they went from mocking me, these guys in school, to asking me how to do the same. They're the same people. They went from taking the piss out of me about this page to asking me how to make a page for them or how to actually make money on Instagram. Even, I remember this one guy, he was taking the piss out of me, and then he saw how much I made. And again, it's not much now, but when you're back then, when you're young, felt like you're Hugh Hefner or Bruce Wayne. He was offering to even pay me for me to be their mentor. So that just shows how funny some people are, So that's what happened because I persevered. When I got mocked after starting my YouTube channel and my personal brand and documenting the journey, I persevered. Well, guess what happened? To this day. And we've basically grown to where we are right now at the time of this recording. So I love every single one of you guys. I got leads, led to new clients, hundreds and thousands of subs and views, and again, impressions, led to some top tier connections, massively improved my confidence and speaking skills. And basically, like I said, I love you guys, built a tribe for life. So when things are tough, you just got to keep going. It's a sign, not to sound all cliche, and we're gonna get away from the cliche advice, the preaching, in a minute. But again, there's a reason why people say it all the time. It's because this is what happened right after I persevered. No joke, you can't script this. Good stuff. Things turned out for the better because I persevered, because I pushed through these hard times. Okay, so that's that. Now some actual tips that's actually helped me and mindset shifts. Golden nugget number 1. All it is you actually taking action to break into a new identity. So that uncertainty, that doubt, that fear, whatever you want to call it, all that is you're feeling it because you're taking action finally to break into a new identity. And obviously when you break into a new identity, it's gonna feel weird, it's gonna feel unfamiliar, you're gonna feel all these negative feelings that pop out. But your new identity being, let's say, you wanting to get into appointment setting, and let's say you're starting from zero, you've never done it in your life before, you never made a single dollar from doing this, right? That's you breaking into a new identity. Let's say your identity, your dream outcome is you're making 3 to 5K a month remotely through appointment setting, and you're traveling the world. That in itself is a new identity, and that's something you gotta kind of like adapt to. So that fear, that uncertainty, it's just it's actually a good sign. It's you actually finally taking action, finally taking initiative to do what's best for you and break into a new identity. Like what Alex Hormozi says, you gotta change to change. And that's so true. You can't expect a different result from doing the same things you've been doing. Because if you just kept doing what you're doing, you'll stay in where you are, basically. And you're not happy with where you are, right? So you need to change your actions, and then you change your outcomes. Discomfort, like I said, discomfort is normal and part of the journey. Let me actually get rid of all this. Lean into the discomfort, make it your friend. So when that feeling pops up, that knot in your stomach, do not mentally shy away from it, or physically as well if you feel it, right? Don't mentally shy away from the discomfort. You have to go twice as hard and double down. So what I mean by that is, whenever you're going to do something comfortable, whenever you feel that feeling pop up, what most people do and what your reflex action is to be on defense, is to let's say, for example, become defensive when people ask you about or confront you. Especially, let's go back to the original topic of the video. Your family confronts you as to what you're doing. Don't be on the defensive. Just know that you're going to be fine. Double down on what you're doing. Work twice as hard. For example, when you are, like starting your YouTube channel or documenting the journey, like I did. Whenever I felt that knot in my stomach, I used that as fuel. I leaned into it. I made it my friend. I had to almost learn to love it, because this is just going to be part of the journey the whole time. You may as well become friends with it. You may as well become familiar with it, like it's your best friend, okay? So when you feel that knot in your stomach, do not go on the defense, go on the offense, go twice as hard and double down on it, right? Actually seek it. Seek the discomfort. This is one of the best pieces of advice I've ever had when you're doing this uncomfortable things. You need to seek it, actively seek it out. Don't do what most people do, which is shy away from it. Before you know it, they're still stuck where they are, all right? Or in a worse position, because the thing that you are probably most afraid of is actually the thing you need to do. So that's golden nugget number 1. There you go, got my water. Over time, Over time, what you're doing will start to feel normal, and you'll stop caring about people's opinions. So number 2, golden nugget, results over everything else. Guys, I can't tell you how important this is. I need you to listen up, okay? Results over everything else. Let's clear this out before I start. No. No amount of sweet talking, or riz, whatever you want to call it, will change the mind of a stubborn parent or family member. So one of the biggest mistakes I used to make in my life, and I've learned this very quickly, and with people firsthand, it's just human nature. You're wasting. It's funny because I talked about this to someone earlier. Like, all that energy you could have spent, all the energy that you spent trying to change someone's opinion, could have been invested back into your business. Could have been invested back into you landing a position, making money via appointment setting, actually making what you're trying to do work out, trying to improve yourself, trying to think better. Don't bother with trying to change people. They'll change at their own pace. They'll change as soon as they're ready to. But 99% of the time, you trying to change someone is not gonna work. That's just a harsh truth. So sweet talking, saying how great your goals are gonna be, how big your goals are, what your goals are, how you're gonna pull this off, it's not gonna change the mind of a stubborn parent or a family member. Like, only receipts and proof that what you're currently doing, that what you're doing is actually paying off, will get them 1 inch closer to becoming a believer, or to become a believer. So, excuse me. Most of the time, it's just better to keep your mouth shut if you haven't gotten results yet, until you do have something to show for it. So, what I did let's go back to this period of, this is 2022, by the way, if you're curious. So, from summer 2022 to, I'd say, spring 2023, which is when I left home and moved out and traveled the world and started traveling and stuff, I kept my mouth shut for the most part. So whenever they'd ask about what I'm doing, I just kept it very vague, like one-word answers, or not one-word answers, one sentences. I wouldn't say much about it, because I don't, you never get in trouble by not talking enough, okay? But you can always get in trouble by speaking too much. So I just kept my head down. I didn't try to change their minds, because I knew it wasn't gonna change. And I just focused on getting receipts and proof and momentum that what I'm actually doing is paying off. It's actually worthwhile my time. I'm not just wasting my time. So results over everything else. So results could be a lot of things. It could be your first commission. It could be your first, like, a record month. It could be you making 2K a month. You making 2K purely online, right? That's in most parts of the world. I know inflation's a thing, but in most parts of the world, 2 to 3K a month. USD is the standard wage. So the fact that you made that via your laptop, working not as nearly many hours as a typical 9 to 5, that's results. That's what I'm talking about. Money in the bank is the best result. Me moving out, that's a result. That's a massive receipt. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. And even the small ones too. You can even just stack these small wins together and just use that as results. So that's golden nugget number 2. Don't waste your time trying to change people's opinions, especially your parents and your family, because that's what the video is about. And number 3 is, golden nugget number 3. So this is going to be quite of a handful, so bear with me. So much of a handful, actually, that I'm going to make a separate video soon about this. Golden nugget number 3. Do everything you can to alter your environment. Guys, I swear to God, if you actually do this, it's going to make your life so much easier. I wish I'd done this sooner. Okay, so hear me out. Do everything you can to alter your environment. Get out of the house more. Work in nice places. Surround yourself with people who do believe in what you're doing. Okay? This will do wonders for your conviction, your confidence, thoughts, creativity, and ultimately you'll be in a state of abundance and reassurance that you will get what you desire no matter what. Okay? For example, your house, most likely, I'm assuming because you're watching this video, is a toxic environment. What'd you do? Just get out the house more. Go out more. Okay? Even still, to this day, I don't really like, I'm in my condo right now in Philippines. Even then, I don't like staying here too long. I can't do that too long. I have to get out the house. I know some people like locking themselves in all day. If that works for you, that works for you. But for me, and especially if you're in a toxic household of parents who do not believe in what you're doing, get out the house. You do not need that negative programming. Work in nice places, work in rich places. Even just get a coffee because trust me, this will work. You have to try it. Work in nice hotel lobbies, work in nice cafes, work where all the rich people are hanging out, and you can just get a coffee. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars or hundreds of pounds. Okay? Work in nice places, surround yourself with people, so you get in communities, whether that's online or in person, doing the same thing as you, or people who just supporting you. That's gonna do wonders, like I said here. On the flip side, reduce, and at the same time, reduce or get rid of any negative programming. For example, people don't believe you. Doom and gloom media, so like the news, social media, poverty, bad health, etc. Because ultimately, your environment is one of the few things that can actually make change seem effortless. And it makes it effortless. If you change your environment, you will raise the standard which that environment is held at. So if you're working, let's go back to this example. if you're working in a 5-star hotel lounge, even if you just get a coffee, who's going to be at that 5-star hotel lounge while you're doing your appointment setting? It's going to be rich people. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, 95% of those people are going to be, they've done well for themselves, they're thinking in abundance, they're dressing nicely, they speak coherently, they're just very successful people. And then if you keep going there over and over again, repetition, you're going to start to absorb their micro habits. You're going to start to become one of them. Okay? And then before you know it, making money just seems so easy, and your work just becomes so easy because you're enjoying the nice places, and you're becoming like the successful people you hang around with. And then on the flip side, spend less time or completely get rid of people who aren't where you want to be, especially those who are having a negative influence and you're just being very toxic. Okay? And it might hurt because, for example, in my life, there's family members, I'm gonna come clean, there's times I made my mom cry because I was ultimately trying to pursue this, and then she'd just be massively disappointed, or there's certain times where she'd just be very disappointed in what I'm doing, or certain family members or friends that I had before, I'd have to cut them off. I'm not saying cut off all your friends and family. I mean, if they've done nothing wrong and they're supportive of what we do, even if they're not trying to do what you're trying to do, trying to become an appointment setter, trying to work remotely, trying to achieve financial freedom and whatnot, trying to be rich, trying to be successful, it doesn't matter if they're not trying to do the same thing, as long as they're being a positive impact in your life and helping you. As soon as they become toxic, unsupportive, then yeah, you cut them off. Because almost no one explains why this works. I mean, I've already kind of explained, it's because you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around with, osmosis. But really, the reason why this works so well, why a change seems effortless, is because it raises your vibration. And this might seem woo-woo, it's very spiritual. Just hear me out, because I'm going to make another video about this. And you can apply this to any area of your life, trust me, because I've done it myself many times and it works. Like I said, I'll make a more detailed video covering this. It raises your vibration. And if you don't know what vibration means, it's basically, and I'll make a separate video out of this, but long story short, there's a scale of vibration. In the middle is neutral. Here is like guilt and shame, which is the lowest vibration emotions you could ever feel. And then here is like nirvana, basically oneness, basically peace. It's just like, very few people reach the top of this, because most of the people that reach the top of the scale are like monks and people who've taken, I don't know, ayahuasca. Anyway, and then in between here are like the positive, high vibrational feelings like gratitude or joy or I don't know. I can't remember. I'll make another video of this. I should have prepared this better. And then here are more of the negative vibrational energies like anger, sadness, whatnot, yada yada yada. Stuff that you're trying to avoid. Envy, I remember, is one of them, or jealousy. So when it comes to vibration, when you're in a high vibrational state, it reduces stress and it puts you in an abundance mindset. Reduces stress and puts you in an abundance mindset. What does that do for you? Okay, it allows you to think clearer. You're able to come up with more creative solutions to problems, stuff that you probably wouldn't have thought of before if you were stressed out. You're making better decisions that in turn will help you grow your business, help you grow an appointment setting, help you with everything in your life. Literally everything becomes 10 times easier when you're high vibration and in abundance. Okay? A lot of the problems, a sign you're probably in low vibration, I mean, it's pretty obvious, you can tell, but a sign that you're in low vibration is if you are trying to solve problems, but you're just banging your head against the wall. And no matter what you try and do, nothing's clicking. Because if you were in a high vibrational state, you'd suddenly find the answer, or not suddenly, but you'd find the answer and then you'd implement that, and then things would actually start picking up and you'd fix your problem. But if you're just trying to solve a problem and it's just not budging, and it's not working, no matter what you do, is because you're in a low vibrational state, because you cannot solve problems in a low vibrational state. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to do that in another video. But the last thing I'm going to leave you with is stress and pressure is okay, but too much of it can be detrimental to your success. There's a quote that goes, pressure makes diamonds. Yes, but to a certain point. If you're just too much under stress that your brain cannot handle, then none of this is going to happen. You're not going to be able to think of solutions to problems. You're going to make rash decisions. Everything just goes wrong from there. So the right amount of pressure is going to be good, because some of us just need a fire under our ass, so we're not comfortable or complacent. But too much of it can actually be detrimental to your success. How do you do that? How do you get rid of stress, or how do you reduce stress? It's the simple things: eat clean, exercise, doing this, and doing this. And then as a byproduct, we're going to go link it back down to earth of the topic of this video about your family. This is not going to be your main concern anymore. Once you're in a high vibrational state, once you've applied all these 3 golden nuggets, you're going to make progress faster than ever. You're going to be thinking clearer as ever. You're going to be more certain as ever that this is going to work out, no matter what situation you're in, no matter where you're starting, no matter how much experience you have in appointment setting. Because I've tried these golden nuggets, I've actually implemented them, and it works. So that's how I was able to do all this stuff. So document it on my channel if you're still not a believer of why I'm qualified to teach this stuff. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this video for today. Pretty deep one, and I threw a lot of you guys. So if you enjoyed it, again, as I said, like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. My mentorship program called The Oracle, where I basically teach guys and girls, whoever basically, who want to make money online, who want to work remotely, learning one skill and not have to run their own business. Link in the description if you want to apply for that, if you want to learn the steps that I took to do exactly this, start traveling the world, making a remote income, especially at a young age. And yeah, peace.